Good evening, everyone. Today is our public hearing for bill number 2949, 2950, and resolution number 2025-01. Clerk, could you read the notices, please?
Notice is hereby given that the Council of the County of Kauai will hold a public hearing on Wednesday, May 7th, 2025 at 5 p.m. or soon thereafter in the Council Chambers, 4396 Rice Street, Suite 201 in Lihue.
I'm present.
To the operating budget of and financing thereof for the fiscal year July 1st, 2025 to June 30th, 2026. This is the fiscal year 2025-2026 operating budget. Bill number 2950, a bill for an ordinance relating to the capital improvements and financing thereof for the fiscal year July 1st, 2025 to June 30th, 2026. This is the fiscal year 25-26 CIP budget and resolution number 2025-21, resolution establishing the real property tax rates for the fiscal year July 1st, 2025 to June 30th, 2026 for the County of Kauai, pursuant to Section 5A-6.3b, the Kauai County Code 1987 as amended. The Kauai County Council hereby advertises its intention to consider the following real property tax rates for the fiscal year July 1st, 2025 to June 30th, 2026. These rates are from the administration's proposed operating budget bill, which is bill number 2949. And Council Chair, pursuant to Section 5A-6.3 of the Kauai County Code 1987 as amended, the Kauai County Council hereby announces its intention to fix the real property tax rates for fiscal year 2025-2026 on May 28th, 2025 at 8:30 a.m. or soon thereafter in the Council Chambers, located at 4396 Rice Street in Suite 201 in Lihue. Chair, we have one registered speaker.
Okay, thank you. And before we start, Council members Kaneshiro, Kaua'i, and Bulasan are excused. So with that, first speaker.
The first registered speaker is Billy DeCosta.
Honorable Council Chair Raposo, Councilmember Carvalho, Councilmember Kaua'i, Councilmember Holland. I come here tonight, well, first of all, my name is Billy DeCosta for the record. I come here tonight on behalf of all of the constituents that are driving home in traffic, having to go make dinner for their family, having to pick up their kids from sports. They don't have the time to come and question how we need to be fiscally responsible with our tax dollars. The one area I want to talk to you guys about is your funding for personal staff. I've sat in that chair. I've done many bills. I've worked with Councilmember Carvalho and Councilmember Raposo. I believe we've done all the bills and resolutions without any personal staff. I like to comment, and Chair, I'm going to direct the comments to you, but it's apparent that 7 of you are here and that money will benefit the ones who are asking for staff. So right now, I know Councilmember Holland has done excellent work with Councilmember Kaneshiro on an ag bill I heard earlier today, which was our current staff. I do not believe there was any personal staff working on that bill. I know Councilmember Holland has 2 staff members for the past 2 terms, and I don't think she crafted a bill with that staff. I want to know how that staff can personally benefit you guys when we have 19 staff members here for 7 of you to use. We have 2 lawyers. We have our own county attorney. We have many of our council staff with college degrees. I want to know how these personal staff members will engage in more competent and efficient work that our council members are going to do. Because we've never had personal staff. As far back as I believe County Clerk Jade Tanegawa has been here, there has never been personal staff. I believe it's a waste of our tax dollars. If you guys cannot do the job by yourself, you should not be elected. I want to know the criteria for hiring these personal staff. Do they come with a college degree? Have they had clerical experience? You know, we crafted a couple of bills, and Councilmember Carvalho knows this. He's been a mayor for 10 years. And when you sat as a mayor, did you ever approve on your budget for council staff? As the council members, Councilor Raposo, you've served 18 years. You've done tremendous work. Have you ever done it with personal staff? What worries me is we're setting a precedence moving forward. We need to be fiscally responsible with our taxpayers' money, and we're not, you guys. 2 years ago.
You know, just go ahead and finish your second three, and then we'll have Bridget, she can have her full six.
Chair, do I need to reintroduce myself for the second
just
3
keep on
minutes? 2 years ago, we decided to give our staff, county staff, a raise because we felt that they were very competent and efficient at their job. And I voted on that. 2 terms ago, I voted against giving our council members a raise. I believe you voted yes, and I believe you voted yes. I voted no, because we felt this was a hard job to do. We needed more money. It was a full-time job, and we were very much overworked. So we got a raise. It's like we're asking for another raise when you bring in personal staff. What are they going to do? Answer your emails? Check your calendar? Follow you to an event? Possibly help promote your next election? I'm asking you guys to please self-reflect on this ask for personal staff. You guys know that at the Department of Education in a classroom, we have what we call an EA. That's a personal staff. When we have trouble teaching our really difficult children, we ask parents to come into the classroom and help. They don't get paid. Your parents is your constituents. I've worked on bills with North Shore people, with West Side people that come to our office and craft bills with us. That's your personal staff, the constituents out on Kauai. Please reconsider this. It's a foolish way to spend our taxpayers' money. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to testify? Bridget? It's a public hearing for the budget. So we have the operating budget bill, the CIP bill, as well as a resolution for real property tax. And then you'll have your full 6 minutes instead of, because there's no one else here to testify, so you'll be able to testify for the full 6 minutes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good evening, members of the council. It's nice to be able to be here before you again. My name is Bridget Hammerquist. I live in Kaua'i, and I try to spend time to help. And I really have just a few comments tonight that I thought would be worth making and hopefully will be helpful. With regard to the issue that was just discussed about assistance for council members, I would offer that I'm in favor of it. I think that we're getting to be a fairly hefty operation, $240 million a year operation at a minimum, and it's a difficult job. There's a lot of irons in the fire at the same time, and to do the research and have the knowledge base, it's really helpful to have a smart assistant. So I just offer that personally. On the real property tax, I've been hearing and studying, and I would offer that we have a real difficult situation on this island because we departed from taxing based on the zoning of the property, and we went to apparent use. And I believe when I heard Mr. Hunt testify some time ago before you, he mentioned that happened about 2014. I couldn't really find the ordinance that did that, and I don't know the legalities of going from using the tax table or the tax formula on land based on its zoned status versus based on apparent use. I'm not an expert in that area, but I would just offer that I think it's made for a lot of confusion for a lot of people, and it leads to a lot of arbitrary results because it depends on who's looking when you say apparent use. And I think I testified to this last year, but and I said at the time, Grove probably wouldn't expect me to testify on behalf of Grove Farm, but I think it's happening to a lot of agricultural landowners that if they have worked with or been approached by communications companies that need a place for a cell tower, the property owner may give up 100, 150, 200 square feet, but then they find that 1,300 acres of their property have been reclassified as light industrial. And I'm seeing that more and more. We found a recent map that had a lot of tax classifications on it that don't match the zoning classification. And I don't know how much longer the island can sustain that, because I don't think landowners know what to rely on in that regard. It seems like, as I said, it leaves too much to the arbitrary decision-making of one or two people as opposed to actually relying on. And in the agricultural area in particular, I know I've recently sent some material in to Fern, and I'm happy to make it available to all of you if you're interested. We have a unique situation on Kauai that isn't used in other islands or in Honolulu, and so I think it's really leading to a lot of confusion and a lot of difficulty. But more importantly, it means we have a lot of appeals that are filed when people get their tax bill. So that clogs up, and there's actually a record of how long it takes to get something through the tax appeal process. So I would offer that maybe we might want to go back to the actual taxation based on the zoning. If not, what we're doing when we allow the use, a characterization by use, or taxing by use, are we not circumventing the requirement to otherwise have a district boundary amendment or a zoning change? If we're going to say that if you use a property a certain way, then that property is now light industrial, what happened to the need to change the property and make it light industrial, and give the community and the people? And we have that, and I'd like to take a little minute to discuss. It's still going on in Kaua'i. Hawaii Planing Mill, HPM, is still operating a lumber operation, building trusses, modular walls, and planing mill operation in the old mill in Kaua'i. And I know we talked to Shipty about the fact that it's a historic site. It's one of the few sugar mills still standing. It's registered. It's part of a registered historic site. And the county planning department did give them permits to operate on land adjacent to, but those permits were struck. So then they moved into the mill, and they have no permit to operate in there. And
Ms. Hammerquist, your time is up.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Oh,
I
that's
should have
okay.
let you know when the light. I'll
Oh,
give you another.
I'm sorry,
I'll give
I
you.
didn't see the light.
Yeah, I apologize. I'll give you another 30 seconds because that's
Okay.
when the light.
Just to
would
wrap
change.
that last one up, if you can help us look into some of these areas that we have complaints on and have no response from the county, it would be very helpful. We still have an issue of big trucks rumbling through Kaua'i where children walk to school, and it's just not safe, and it's not legal. And it is a restricted use on ag land. It's not supposed to be permitted. And the county doesn't seem to be doing a good job with that. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And there are no other speakers. This public hearing is adjourned. Thank you.
There is one other speaker.
And we'll go ahead and take your testimony. Mr. Linder, we'll give you the full 6 minutes, as we did for Mr. DeCosta and Ms. Hammerquist.
Okay, I wanted to see, what's the revenue from all of the agricultural land when you classify it into the use tax. And so I went to they were very helpful with the information. They got it done, and the questions were really clear. So if you look, it's broken out, and if you just take 2025, you'll see the breakout of total market value. And then so when you take that with the use classifications and compare it to what the budget is that you guys produce, right? You'll see that the revenue from what you're producing shows 11.5 million from the tax, and this shows 30. And that was because of the use of picking other, vacation rental, commercial, industrial. So I thought, okay, that was good, but it turns out that I didn't get it all because there's an open zone that is showing up, that the agricultural land, and that shows that here that there's urban agriculture and conservation zone land is putting in an open category, right? And so I didn't get that category. I'm going to have to go back. I'm going to have to, see that, but you could see the revenue. And the reason, I guess, I think that's valuable because you see how much money is coming in, right? And it's like, well, if so much more is coming into, agriculture, then, maybe you don't do sidewalks, in Lahui, you do water, you do that. So I think that's why it's good to look at it like that. Okay, and so the question is, what is open zone? And so I gave you a couple things here, but I think you sort of in an open zone, you're sort of protecting open space for things, but I did the article 9 in here, and it says, they're so preserving, but they're also sort of enhancing. It's like that. If you look at that open, but again, they took 10,000 acres of conservation land and switched it from the conservation zoning to the open zoning. I mean, what could be more protective than conservation, right? All you can do is build one house. So again, it appears that they're giving that zoning like they're going to do something with it, right? So, and then there was 13,000 acres of agriculture that got switched to open. Again, and then that has industrial classification, and then there's 2,000 acres, which is still zoned ag. Okay, so then the question of what is open, I gave you a picture. I don't have it, but it shows It's the map says, open zone, and when you look at that map shows open on it. And it looks like it's coming from the CZO, right? It's coming from the CZO, and it shows the gray is the open. And I thought, well, is that the drainage area, right, that was usually, used, but that was under ag, and that's not a tax classification. So anyway, open is a zoning, but it's not one of the state zonings, right? State zone is, rural, urban, conservation, and agriculture. That's all there is. So now, I'm trying to figure out what does that mean. And then when you look at the tax map key, you see, well, you look at that map, and that map has ag, but if you look around Kaua'i, there's a little gray area, but yet they have 24,000 acres of land around Kaua'i zone to open. We used to be ag and used to be conservation. Now it's called open, which implies that it's some sort of plan. It's like, how do you put open on conservation? Because it's like you do nothing, right? You're going to protect it. And so, but the other thing is, there's a very little small area of gray, but yet 24,000 acres. You go up to like North Shore Preserve, it's like a huge amount of open, but it's zoned ag, right? So I guess, and the other thing, I guess, is who is making, so there isn't, I don't know what open is. It's not a legitimate zoning thing, and they've already switched the thing from, so we've lost the state. It's like the county is doing their own thing. It's like they're making their own zoning up. So, I guess I missed the meeting where, to ask questions earlier, but zoning, the thing says you have to do the state districts at the very beginning. You add up how much money comes from each district zone. And that was typically, set by the state. Is that the 6?
Yeah, that's your 6.
All right.
Thank you, Mr. Littman.
All right,
I'll definitely will
All right, you bet.
follow up on this. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, with that, the public hearing is on. Thank you.